Today we're going to talk about officer termination provisions in LLCs. So if you've set up an LLC, hopefully you have a certificate on file with the state. Almost everybody does. It's hard to miss because generally you can't open a bank account without it or move forward. But hopefully you also have an operating agreement. Now some people miss that step, but in almost every state it's advisable to have an operating agreement that talks about what the operations of the LLC should look like. So, certificate of formation, operating agreement. Those documents are going to kind of set up your company. Now, in general, within that operating agreement, what you're going to want to have is all your governance, how the company is run, how votes are taken, who decides what, how meetings are called, all the good stuff. Now, part of that is understanding what happens if we need to get rid of somebody or terminate them. We can have individual employment contracts. Employment contracts are fairly rare in small companies. But if we have significant officers, members, and managers of our LLC, we do want to think about their coming and going. And sometimes people will get caught up in problematic situations, right? Somebody may have difficulties outside the office, which are affecting their performance. They may get involved in scandals. They may have questions about their honesty pop up, even if they seem like great people. Issues may come along. We may have times where we have people who are officers of our company that no longer should be serving in that role. And that's where termination provisions come into play. And in general, we want to bake those into both the agreement of the LLC, the contract, and we somehow want to get that officer bound to that agreement. And then we also may want a separate contract and agreement, but we want to think about that at-will principle. But the key is for us as business managers is we need to have a termination system set up. And we want to set it up before the problem occurs, because if we wait till the problem occurs, we may get legal challenges if we try to change the rules after the fact. We want the rules set up early before the problem happens so we can refer back and say, those were the rules before the problem happened. We didn't change the rules because of the problem. So right now, if you're being smart, you may want to go revisit your LLC documents and think about how do we exit officers, managers, members, other people if a problem arises. Because believe me, it does happen, and it happens often unexpectedly. People are not expecting people to get into trouble, but they do. So think about those termination provisions and how to build them the right way. So get in your documents, do an amendment if necessary. Generally, you can amend those agreements fairly easily in most cases. So go ahead and do an amendment, pick up these concepts, and then start moving forward. If you have questions about business, business law, future of business, go ahead and drop them below. But keep them general in nature. Don't drop anything in the comments you don't want other people seeing. They're not confidential. For confidential communications, meet with an attorney of your choosing. Hope you subscribe to the channel. Go check out our library of past videos. Thanks for tuning in today, folks.